everybody, welcome to the channel. Today what we're going to be reviewing is a 2003 Toyota Tundra two-wheel drive long bed with a 3.4 liter 6-cylinder engine. That's a lot, but you know what, this truck has almost 200,000 miles on it, and in a minute I'm going to let you hear it run. I can't believe how quiet this engine is even with that many miles on it. Now this is one of the first gen Tundras. It looks really small compared to mine. I do want to say that. Maybe at the end of this video I'll put a picture of this one beside mine, and it just looks tiny. Now yes, I have a Crew Max, and it is lifted with 35s, and of course that's going to be taller because it's four-wheel drive as well. But these first gens were so small, but they were just basically indestructible too. It's amazing how many miles some people have gotten out of these vehicles. So what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about the truck a little bit, go over some of the features that it has, which is very, very little. This is a work truck, and that's what I would use it for if I decide to purchase it, would be a work truck. It's not in pristine mint condition by no means. The truck was used to drive back and forth to Texas most of its life, and that's where it's got most of its miles at, was interstate miles, and maybe that's what attributes to the engine being so quiet. But we'll talk about it, go over some of the features that is in this truck. I'm actually going to go underneath the truck and show you the frame, because a lot of people will talk about how the frames on Toyota trucks rust and this, that, and other, and I want to show you how much rust is actually underneath the frame of this truck. So we'll do that as well, and then we'll take it out for a drive. I'll talk a little bit about that. There's something about this truck that actually amazes me and is better than any other vehicle that I've ever driven in my entire life. So without further ado, let's get in to some of the features or lack thereof. Okay, so we're just going to do like kind of a quick walk around. The truck was hit over here. You can see that it wasn't fixed perfect, but it's good enough for a work truck. For what they want for this truck, I'm not going to really worry about that. I think the hood was replaced and the bumper was replaced, but it didn't hurt the frame or anything like that. I may not have bought it if it hurt, or I haven't bought it yet, but I would definitely probably not buy it if the frame was damaged. You can see the small tires. That looks kind of funny on this truck, those little bitty tires. The tires are about new, but they're just so small. Again, you walk around the side, you can see right here that it is the long bed. I think that's an 8-foot bed. That bed is enormous, and that is actually one of the things that makes me kind of want this truck a little bit, because we're going to be fixing up our house, like I've said in other videos, to try to get ready to sell, and you can haul a lot of stuff in this. I could put rocks in the bed of this truck, wouldn't really worry about it. Not sure I want to put rocks in my Platinum. I mean, I guess I would if I had to, but for the price of this truck, it's probably worth buying it, putting rocks in it, doing everything we need to do, and if I want to sell it, and I can probably still get my money back, so no big deal out of that. Not sure what the size of the gas tank is, but the guy I bought it off of, he said, or not, I keep saying bought it, I've not bought it yet. The guy that's wanting to sell it, he said he's getting about 20 miles a gallon in it. Now, I don't know about that. I've not drove it enough. You can see there's no bed line or anything in it like that. The bed's pretty scratched up. So, that's no big deal either, because like I said, it doesn't really matter to me. Now, it does have a plastic toolbox in it. There's a for sale sign up here, and I'm not going to show that because it has his phone number on it, but it does come with a plastic toolbox. I could, I may even take that out. I'm not sure. But that's pretty much the whole truck. I mean, it's just a plain Jane two-wheel drive Toyota Tundra that is really, really small because it's a Gen 1. I can't get over the size of it. I do want to say something though. So when you get in it, here's the interior. It does have a rip in the seat right there. Those floor mats were bought, after he got the truck. He just bought something to throw in it. They are Tundra floor mats, but he just picked up something just to throw in it. But it does have, just your vinyl flooring. This is a work truck. I can't say that enough. This is a work truck. And when was the last time you seen crank handles and non-power door locks? This truck is bare bones. It does not have any frills at all or anything like that. So let's get inside it. Now, they did, whoever had it before, put a Pioneer CD player in it. The only thing I know that's wrong with the truck, really mechanically, is the air conditioner don't work, and that highly sucks in the summertime here in the South. I want to show you this. There is literally no mirror in the sun visors. The passenger side had one, I guess, put in, but this is not, you know, factory. I don't know. It looks like it might have 2 pins holding it in. That's kind of, you know, whatever. It does have a handle up here, a handle here, and they used to have handles on the driver's side. Now my Tundra has one, but I had to pay like $100 and some to get this piece right here for my Tundra, and they came stock years ago. Like I said, it is just bare bones. It does have an ashtray down here, or not an ashtray, but cup holders. The ashtray's actually missing, but look at the power ports in this truck. It had like 3 power ports. I mean, they didn't want you to, you know, be without charging some cell phones and stuff. But look at this. So this is a standard cab truck. Look how much room is in between my knees and the dash. There is more room in between my knees and the dash in this standard cab truck than in my dad's Crew Max Z71 Chevy. It's just amazing. And the actual mileage, I'll show you the gauge cluster, is 196,302. So we are almost to 200,000 miles. Now look at the dash. There is no cracks in this dash. Now I don't know, you know, who took care, who owned this before. My buddy has it now, but he bought it off somebody that had a bunch of dings and dents in it, and he fixed it. But the airbags were never blown that I know of. But it's just in great condition other than that one tear in the seat. Now I do want to show you this. It is a bench seat, as you've seen we got in, and there is an armrest right here. There's just some kind of notice back here or whatever right there. But there is an armrest, so I do like that. I hate having a bench seat without an armrest because there's just nowhere to set your arm. So at least if you have like the armrest here, you can set your arm on it like so. So what we're going to do next is I'm actually going to take you outside, start the truck, and let you hear how quiet it is, because this is pretty amazing. Okay, now you can see it does have the 3.4 liter 4-cam 24 valve 6-cylinder in it. You know, this isn't a 5.7, but this seems to be a pretty good engine. Let me start this for you and let you hear how quiet this thing runs. Now, as far as I know, nothing's ever been touched on this engine. I don't know of anything they've done to it. I'm assuming they didn't change any timing chains or anything like that. As far as I know, I wasn't told of anything like that. As far as I know, this is completely bone stock with almost 200,000 miles on it. I'm sure you can hear that, how quiet that is. I honestly think that may be quieter than my 5.7. I mean, this thing is just, it just purrs. It amazes me how quiet this is with 200,000 miles on it. It's just, it's astonishing to me that Toyota made an engine that good, that's that quiet, this many miles later. Again, just listen to this. Amazing, it's just amazing. So let's get this truck out, take it down the road, and I'll tell you some of my thoughts about driving it. Okay, now one thing I did want to do before we took out and drove it, I told y'all I'd do this. We're gonna get up underneath it and just look at how much rust is on it. I think you're gonna be surprised. So let's climb up underneath the truck. Okay, so here you can see the frame. A lot of it is actually like leaves, and a lot of it is dirt, because this is really dirty. You can see right here, there's just a tad bit of rust right here, a little bit of rust on the exhaust. Now, I will say the back part of the exhaust does have a new exhaust. I'm not sure what muffler they put on it, but it is actually pretty loud. This is just dirt. You can see it flaking off. That's not rust. No rust there. I mean, this frame is immaculate. Seriously, look at that. I mean, people talk about how bad Toyotas rust, and there is like no rust on this frame at all. And it's an 03, and it's been to Texas I don't know how many times. let's take it to the back and show you the back end of it. Okay, here we're under the back of the truck. You can see right here, there's no rust on the frame back here, really. Just a very little surface rust. Up here is the same way. Very, very, very little rust. I've seen newer trucks with this much rust on it. Just a little bit of surface rust on your rear axle back here, but nothing real bad. I'm telling y'all, my Ford was about this bad, and I'd had it like 3 years. So it's just pretty amazing how a little bit of rust is on this. So let's go to the other side and I'll show you. Okay, here's the other side frame. Going down the frame. So to all the people that's yelling Toyota rust, Toyota rust, Toyota rust, some of them may have, and I'm sure they did, but it wasn't all of them. The only rust I see is a little bit in the front, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, you can see just a little bit of rust, like right here. Not a ton, but there is a little bit, and it's about the same on the driver's side as well. And that's really all the rust that's underneath this truck. It's really amazing on how well this frame is kept up. And I know that some of them is rusted out. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying some of them didn't. And this is one that was fortunate enough it did not. The frame's never been changed or anything. It's just really stayed in that good a condition. Okay, so we're in the truck. We're fixing to pull out on the highway. And there's one thing I want to say right off the bat. The one thing I said about earlier in the video that this truck does better than anything I've ever driven is throttle response. It is amazing. I cannot state that enough at the throttle response in this truck. Seriously. My new Tundra has nothing on this. I've owned 37 vehicles. I don't know what the deal is with this truck, but the throttle response is amazing. It's almost too good. And the reason I say that is this is a long bed 2-wheel drive. If you just barely touch the gas, it throws you back in the seat. Not saying it has that much power, it's just the throttle response is so fast that it just kind of throws you back a little bit. Not quite that hard, but it throws you back. And if you're on some kind of wet condition or in wet grass or something like that, it spins very easily because that throttle response is so quick. I don't know if this one is the only one like that. I'm sure it's not the only one, but I don't know if I don't think they've done anything to the truck like a pedal commander or anything like that or whatever those are called, but I don't know if all Gen 1s were that way. This is the only Gen 1 that I've ever driven, and they may all be that way, and if they are, I don't know why Toyota changed whatever they changed, but that is crazy. Next, so I'd like to go ahead and say, Toyota has the power steering game on lock. This truck has almost 200,000 miles. The steering is just as good in this truck as it is my Platinum. It's amazing. I can't say enough about those two features about this truck alone, and just Toyota in general on the steering. I've never driven a Toyota that did not have amazing power steering. To everything I've driven in my life, Toyota has the best power steering. The other vehicles have other options that are better, but I've never found anything that could outdo Toyota on power steering. And if you take long trips or drive a lot, that's pretty important on how easy the power steering is and not having to fight that steering wheel. Next is the ride. It's a work truck. And I also have to throw in there that if I got this, you know, I'd be hauling rock and stuff like that in for the house. I would probably put a helper spring in the back. One other thing I want to say is the valve covers are leaking on this truck. Pretty bad, actually. I've not noticed the oil level being low, but they appear to be leaking pretty bad. Maybe it's just over 200,000 miles. They've never cleaned the engine and it looks that way. But valve covers, the most expensive one on Rock Auto was under $35. That's not a big deal. But if I were to get the truck, I would definitely fix that. And I'd put helper springs on the rear, so when I'm hauling something, I could be able to put more weight in it and not sag the back end as bad. And I would do a video on that if I did that. I've never done that, but that would be something I definitely would do. but that would probably even hurt the ride even more because this thing is pretty bumpy as it is. It seems to be really short. The front end on Toyotas seem to be short anyway, and this one seems to be even shorter. I can almost see over the hood and see the bumper, it feels like, from sitting in this seat. Now, can I really do that? Probably not. But I feel like I can do that because it's so short out front. I've never been able to figure out how to judge my Tundra, my Platinum Edition, pulling into a parking spot. It is the hardest vehicle I've ever tried to judge to park, even pulling straight in. I do a lot better backing up in reverse than I do, pulling into a parking spot because I can never judge that front end. This one isn't that way. I feel like I set up high enough in this truck that I can really see over the hood and pull right up to that line. Not a huge deal at all. Very easy. You can see right there when I hit the gas to turn on corner, it kind of pulled me back. Throttle response. It's crazy. But parking this thing is very easy except for the back. I usually open the door and look back because I'm not used to that 8-foot bed, and I want to make sure I get it all in my parking space. Amenities and tech and stuff is zero. That's another thing I do like about this truck. It doesn't have any tech. Nothing. So what's going to break on it? I mean, you got your crank windows, non-power door locks, which kind of sucks. Both those kind of suck because nowadays with new trucks, they've kind of got that perfected. But yet again, that's still something that could go out. It's not going to go out on this truck. So for a work truck, it is what it is. But like I said, it still amazes me that 200,000 miles, that this thing does run as good as it does and as quiet as it does. And it's pretty peppy for a 3.4 liter six cylinder. In all seriousness, it's pretty peppy. The truck probably don't weigh a lot because it's a regular cab, but the engine is really peppy to be a smaller six cylinder like that. Now I do want to say, I don't know what exhaust system they put on here. I don't know if it was a Flowmaster. I don't know. There is a drone in the cabin. I don't know if you can hear that. When we get back out on the road or turn right here, maybe I can get up to enough speed. Nope, the guy in front of me is turning as well. But maybe I'll just turn around here and go back the same way I just came. But there is a drone in the cabin. Let me get turned around and you all will probably be able to hear that when we go back up the road. So let me get the truck turned around. There's more traffic everywhere, and this is a little side road. I don't get it. It's like the town I live in don't even have that many people, not even enough to get Chick-fil-A, but everywhere you go, there's 40 million people. I don't understand. So I'm gonna pull that right here. Now listen. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but there is a drone in the truck. It's not terrible, but it is a drone in the truck. I may be being washed out right now by the sun. I'm sorry if I am, but there is a drone in the truck. And that would probably get annoying if I was going to drive it on a very long trip, but this isn't the truck I drive on a long trip anyway. But in closing, am I going to buy this truck? I'm not decided yet. I'm leaning towards buying it just because of what I said. I could probably buy it, use it, and if I wanted to get rid of it, I could get my money back and I wouldn't have to scratch up my newer Tundra. So I'll probably buy it because of that, but there are other project cars that I would really like to have as well. So I may wind up getting two for the channel. I cannot get this camera out of the sunlight. There is no tinted windows in this truck, and it would definitely have to have that because as you can see right there, the sun's just bearing in. I've got the camera at a weird angle now. It's bouncing, and I want to apologize for that. But if I move it anywhere else, the sun just blinds it. So we're fixing to pull back out on the road. One more time, I want to show you the pickup of this little truck and the throttle response. So let me get out here. I don't get it. You think I'd live in Atlanta? So much traffic. That throttle response, I would like to have that in my Tundra. Seriously. I would like to have that much throttle response in my other truck. But there again, here is my review of the 2003 Toyota Tundra, regular cab, long bed, 3.4 liter, six cylinder. I do believe it's still a good truck. I believe it's got many more miles left in the engine. Wouldn't bother me at all to probably take this on a long trip whenever I fixed the valve covers. I don't know how bad they're exactly leaking, but I would definitely want to fix that before I took it on a long trip. But as good as this truck runs, it wouldn't bother me at all to do that. So if you're looking at getting an older Tundra, it's got a few miles on it, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd probably go ahead and do it, especially after I've driven this. I've been driving this now probably 5 or 6 days, no hiccups at all. Appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.